got to replace an alternator in this thing. These trucks do some freaky shit when the alternator goes out on them. Lots of lights and wrenches, icons, and bitches and moans and shit. So we're gonna put one in. So, I don't know if you guys know much about these trucks. There's not a whole lot of videos on YouTube of replacing the alternator on these things. You look down there, there's your alternator. You know, there he is right there. Alright, so now I got these lines. I'll show you where I got them from. So this guy, I put a plug in it, or a cap. That guy goes right there. Okay. Push these two buttons, that top one and that bottom one, and it goes in just like an air fitting. See that? Just like that. You just push them. There you go. Put it out of the way, and then you pop this guy up out of there. Flip it out of the way. Now, this is coolant, this is air, this is air. You could probably do it without taking this one out, but these two have to come out. I might end up taking this one out anyway. I don't know. I gotta deal with this coolant system right now. Yes, you have to open up the coolant system to get into this, to replace the alternator. So, what I'm doing is, I got my drill pump here. I got my recovery vessel right here. It's clean. The only thing that's been in here is brand new pre-mixed coolant. So I am not trying to put anything contaminated back into this damn thing. Everything on this truck is expensive to replace. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get this coolant pipe off and start sucking some coolant out of it and get it out of our way. In the meantime, I did try to do some painting, and definitely looks a lot better, because it used to look like this over here. Now, a lot of this is just bugs, but that rust and stuff, yeah, that looked like that all the way down. So, and down all the seams. So, definitely looks a lot better, a lot more presentable. That's good. That was a test trial for what I want to do for the rest of the body. So I recovered the coolant. Little drill pump. Not the best way to do it, but it's what I have on the other truck. So this is going to be an 11 millimeter. I would use a deep well with a mini ratchet. This little clip right here, this little wire thing, you're just going to get behind there with the screwdriver from this side, and you're going to pop it out, and that's going to give you this, but you got to get this thing off. All right, that's what that is. Okay, I'm sure all this, yeah, that's probably fine. I don't need to worry about that. You got a sensor over here, okay? It's this little guy. It plugs in right there. You can easily get to it. You just whip it out of the way. These tools help. You get in there. I had it going this way, not this way, because there's no room to get in there like that. So I just popped it in right there and pulled back on it. If I break them, I got replacement ones. I keep on this truck. So, all right, now I'm gonna show you guys this. See down in there, that little bolt right there? That's also an 11 millimeter, but you're gonna need some extendo on your little ratchet to actually be able to get to it. Alrighty, I had to, is that sprayer going by? I had to get my pry bar in there, down in there, and I'm gonna zoom in for you guys, get you a better picture. I had the bar facing towards that cooler, like this, not like that, like that. You set that thing down on in there, and give some on closer view. I know this is the just absolutely best cinema you've ever watched. You're gonna get behind this little boot right there, and you're gonna pull back on it like that. You're just gonna see that, and that's gonna help you out. Zoom out here. There you go. All right, and that's that greasy fucker. Okay. So, and yeah, your hands are gonna look like this. It's the way it is. I will tell you, I did notice this. So this is the socket. I was using a 1/4 inch 11 millimeter to get this shit off. And it was bottoming out. This thing right here on this lower side is so long, it bottoms out on the smaller ones. Now, if you look at this 3/8 that I have adapted down to my mini ratchet and my 1/4 inch extensions, it's that much taller. Okay, that makes a difference. I was able to get it no problem with this without using this. That's what I thought it was originally. I thought it wasn't getting square on there, but nope, I just need a longer socket. So remember that for that lower one. We got these off now. This is a coolant hose. I've actually replaced this before. I just kind of bent it back there. It's kind of just holding its own. So now we got to get to the idler so we can pop this belt off, and then I think the rest of this is going to be pretty straightforward and easy as far as getting back there, getting that bolt, and getting this bolt out, because it looks like it is threaded into this aluminum block housing right there. So let's get it on out. Well, here's where we're at now. You got to pop this hose off. You got to do all this. Get this hose untangled from here. There's an 8 millimeter right here. This guy. You're going to take this whole assembly off. Don't forget, in the back over here, you got to unloosen this guy. And it says all 8, 8, 8, and then 8 right there. So, and then, of course, you got to take out the air breather. You don't have to. You can leave it there, but it's kind of in your way if you don't. Now, let's see. We're going to go ahead and grab one of these guys. I think it's this one. And I found where the tensioner is. Let me climb up on the ladder here. And this is getting ridiculous for an alternator, but you know what? It's the world we live in, I guess. So there's your tensioner right there. Exactly right there is where you're going to put your wrench. I'm going to crank this back, get that belt off, take the belt off, and I'll be with you guys shortly. Alright, it was kind of a pain, but I was able to get my flex head on it at that. So, surely if you got a little bit longer one, probably be able to get it better without a flex head, but that's just kind of what I had. So, I changed my mind. Upon closer inspection of this belt, I think it is perfectly fine. I'm not changing this belt today. But I am going to put the extra belt behind the seat. So at least I'll have it. And when I do bust it, I can call somebody else to come and change it. So, alright, well, there's the alternator. Before we disconnect it, start ripping off the alternator, let's go disconnect these batteries. And then we'll rip that alternator out, put the new one in, start putting all this shit back together. This is kind of ridiculous, just for an alternator, you know, but you know what, like I said, it's kind of just the world we live in, I guess. So over here, it's going to be a 15 there, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 15 down there. Let's see, that guy right there. So, also, I did notice, check this out. Okay. That, I would like to take this off. I think this does something. Some solenoid for the recirculation. I'd like to take this off and clean that, because I really don't like that. I mean, I know in there it's probably really bad, but I haven't obviously got this truck deleted yet. And based on that, kind of makes me think I probably should do it soon. God, that's got to be terrible. So we are going to pull this solenoid here, and we're going to give it a scrub, and then we're going to throw it back on. Anything other from this point on, I'm just going to leave it. I really don't want to mess with anything more than that. But we do have our batteries disconnected on both sides, and I'm getting ready to rip this alternator out here. Alright, this is what I got so far. This guy right here is going to be a 15, or not a 15, a 13 millimeter. And again, make sure you disconnect your batteries before you go messing with this alternator. This lug right here, if it hits any of this stuff around here, you start sparking and arcing on stuff. You already see how tight it is. I've got, this is the lower bolt. It's a little longer one. And the upper bolt is right here. This one goes right here. Kind of like that in there. And then this one right here goes right there in the bottom. So what I did for this one is I used, where'd it go? I used this, not in this configuration. This minus the extension. Put your 15 there on your flex head, just break it loose. And that's what I was able to do it out the rest of the way by hand because it's all the way down there. So the only way you're gonna get it in and out is by hand. If you got just basic tools, kind of like I do. I have an air ratchet, but it's too fat to fit down in there. It might work, but only for a little while until it starts bottoming out or butting up against something else. All right, there's that. Okay. Come on, girl. There we go. Boom. Okay, that's out of the way. We got this little plug right here, this voltage sensor, whatever it is, I don't know. We got to get that unplugged, and then we can rip this thing out. I don't think anything else is attached to it, so let me get that plug out, and I'll get back with you guys. All right, well, here's where we currently are right now. I ended up having to rock this thing back and forth to get it off that bottom. See this here? So it's sandwiching this and this. It's sandwiching in between a bracket or a fitting point for that bolt to go through. And I had to rock it back and forth because you see there's some like scaling or like oxidation. It just made it a little stiff. So I rocked it back and forth, got it started with the pry bar, just kind of rocked it back and forth until she popped out. And then I did notice this is a little loose. So that might be one of the reasons she's having some trouble. But I popped this out after I got the alternator to this position. So I popped it out, moved the pulley head down, and then popped that out. Now we should be able to grab this guy and just kind of rip it out here. There she is. Grab it by the pulley. Oh, there we go. Holy shit. Oh, that is ridiculous. Oh God, that's ridiculous. But yeah, that's kind of the bracket I'm talking about right there. You have to rock it back and forth a little bit, and trying to make sure my belt stays on there. I'm not trying to put a new belt on this thing today. This one's in great condition. I had it replaced a couple years ago. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and drop that new one in here. Well, kind of opened up another can of worms. What'd you know? That's a lot of soot. It's a lot of soot. And get these big chunks out. I think they're restricting a little bit of airflow. I'm gonna pop this guy free from the harness and give it a good clean down. But I'm just gonna basically, I'm not too worried if that stuff falls in there. Really not an end of the world. It's gonna get burnt or cycled through anyway. But I'm gonna get a pick and start scraping all this stuff down on like a pig mat or something, because that's restricting airflow. That's pretty restricted if you ask me. Like that's excessive. So let's get that cleaned out. But we'll give it a shot. This is definitely a lot of buildup here, and I didn't want to just leave this. All right. So I got it somewhat cleaned up in there. You know, it's still got some buildup, but it's a lot better than what it was. You know, we're just gonna have to call it good. So clean that up a little bit. I'm not too worried about the aluminum in there. Some specks of it, but nothing crazy. There's our gasket. Let's go ahead and start getting this thing put back together. All right, I got the new alternator in. Got everything hooked up electrically with the alternator, and just gonna put that boot back on. All right, boot is on. It's all the way around. Take your hand and make sure that it's all the way around. On the old one, you'll see this right here. This is to protect that lug from getting hit and busted. That boot comes down about right here, and it needs to sit over those two little walls right there. So make sure that you feel around it. That way it's fully protected. Let's go ahead and put this EGR valve back on. I got it out nice and clean, and I did what I could there. Got a gasket somewhere. There it is. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this EGR valve back on. I swear every time I start recording the wind picks up. But this is what we got. Everything's back together. Kind of the way it should be, hopefully. Clean the filter out. Clean the EGR valve or solenoid or whatever it is all out. And once it was a little bit past that dampener, I couldn't really get any farther. But, you know, that's kind of the way it is. I'm going to put the coolant back in it and get these batteries charging. And then we'll check the oil and start it up. Okay, well. Well, everything looks like it's together. I already checked the oil. Everything's good. Let's give it a shot. We'll see. I don't know. Look at that. Let's see if these... Oh, what the fuck? Drive to clean exhaust, that's normal. Low tire pressure is normal. I don't know. I mean, that whining sound is from this high pressure line, or low pressure line. It's from that. The mechanic did that, not me. It sounds fine. The belt's moving good. You can see right there. Everything looks good. I wish this thing had a battery gauge on it, but it doesn't. Air filter's good. We're getting plenty of air moving. Well, I don't know. We'll have to take it for a test drive. But so far, everything sounds good. No codes or nothing. Well, I mean, shit. It's definitely more peppy. I'll say that since I cleaned that damn damper out. Oh, let's take it for a test drive. Let's go shut the hood first. That's probably a good idea to shut the hood first. Oh dear, bud. What's up, bud? Oh, hey there. Oh yeah, watch out for Uno. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's do this. Ready? This is half throttle. 60 just like that. That is insane. This truck, I don't think this truck's ever done that, even empty from the dealership. Well, it runs good, it drives good now. That's that. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Not the super most exciting video, but nevertheless, it's production. So, hope you guys are staying profitable, staying busy, and staying safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.